Gary, you popped off.
I was just checking something out.
What's up?
Good.
Doing good, man. Cannot complain. Doing good.
Are you live on Twitch?
Bro.
On YouTube? Gotcha.
My bad. I was being dumb.
You lost me again, Gary?
No, I was being dumb. I'm good. I never lost you.
Hey, only G being G, baby.
I was just trying to show Will on cam here. I didn't know if anybody saw that was Will there. Let me just zoom real quick. I'll show you. Here's Will right here.
Wait, on the watch stream thing?
Yeah, can you see it?
I mean, I just see y'all in the watch stream window.
Click the watch stream. Click it.
Right.
It's like opposite, you know? If Will's jacket was on his head, bro, that would be what he looked like.
All right, how do I go back now? I want to close it.
Here, I'm just going to close it. I'm just going to close it. There. Oh, that's funny.
I'm in Midland with my parents also, but here in 2 weeks I'm moving to Lubbock. So, going out in the big world world. No, it's just me, myself, and I.
Hey, Tyler.
And Ty? What about Tyler?
Yeah, it'll be me, Tyler, and a random named Josh.
4?
No.
No, a random name, Josh.
Like a random, like we don't know.
Okay, but it's going to be 3 of y'all, right?
Yeah, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Want to share that, somebody's got to share, right?
It'll probably be me and Tyler sharing, to be honest.
Hey.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You look better now.
Don't be getting your toothbrush paste all over the ceiling, bro.
Hey, I gotta say though,
Really?
my sophomore year, whenever I moved to U Point, Chad, remember Alabi and all them? That was a total gamble. It was a 4-bedroom, and I didn't know who I was going to be paired with, and I ended up being cool with all of them, and we talk to this day. So it can go either way.
Bro.
I gotta say that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, same thing happened to me, Will. My first year at Tech, when I moved to U Point, I had there's 4 of us in total, but 3 randoms. I did not get along with any one of them.
But did you try though?
Yeah. We just had nothing in
it was
common.
natural. But honestly, the little, how when you sign up for an apartment, they give you a sheet where you need to put in like your interests so they can match you.
I feel like people lie on that sheet, to be honest.
For everything I put in, I got all that. So I guess it works for some, and some I don't know. But yeah. Somebody worked that day. But but you've kind of had bad luck with roommates, Chad. Remember that room? Was it 2 roommates you had at Stengel? The dorms? And they're all bad. I was gonna say, like, let's be honest. Whenever it's, hey, like, I got paired with bad people. Like, is it like we gotta sometimes look at ourselves too? Like, did we? I'm pretty outgoing, so I can make a situation, any situation, a good situation for the most part. But also, you gotta be like, okay, did I do my part too? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Troy's just smiling over here, dog. Well, how you been? You must be the happiest person ever.
Where'd my hair go, bro?
Yeah, where your head go?
What? What? Remember the last podcast like 3 months ago? I had hair. In the future, when they have chia pet hair growth.
Definition of a 5-head.
Nah, boys, it's time for it to go. I'm not going back. I just gotta grow out the beard now.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm growing mine too, so we're on the same journey. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we'll check in 3 months from now. See where we're at.
Yeah, we'll don't shave till the end of the year. Let's see where it's at.
We'll see. How long is that? How long is that right there?
That's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. The human can grow that much hair in 2 weeks. True. G, what you been up to, dog? I know you know big things coming up. Yeah.
Sorry. Just in Big Spring right now. In between. Waiting to move into my house.
Wait, you're in Big Spring?
Yeah, I'm watching I'm watching the in-laws' house while they're in Colorado. So I'm hanging out till we get to move into our own house on the 29th.
When do you move in? Oh, 29th?
29th. Yes. So I think like 10 days from now. 12.
Are you packing up already?
12. Yeah, we packed, bro.
Moving is a pain, dog. I can tell you that. I think everybody knows that.
Probably next one to these, I'll be in my own office. How about that?
For free.
He'll understand. Yeah, he's only saying that.
Why is moving someone else worse than moving yourself?
Because you don't know when it's going to end.
Yeah, all you have to do is get it in the house and you're done.
No, we could.
Because that comes with
I mean, it depends.
Yeah, and I think the satisfactions will get you through the stress of having stuff all over your house.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move. I love rearranging stuff, so I'll definitely enjoy the move.
It's definitely a lot harder.
You can ask Alex at least every 2 months It's gotta have a change. Okay, it's gotta be different. Bothers me. I don't know why. It just does.
Yo, Chad, do you want to help me move? I'll pay you nothing. I thought you were going to leave. I thought you were going to leave the clown stuff like before the stream, not during.
It's natural, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to just. He's going against his nature right now.
I said it's worse when you actually have a house because you don't have just college furniture. You have a whole house worth of furniture.
True.
Sure.
I can validate that.
College furniture you could probably just throw away.
Well, it depends on what you had, though. We had some pretty good stuff at the Republic.
True.
Yeah, but there's several couches. Our place was right next to the dumpster, and there's several couches just laying in the dumpster. So
Yeah. Get one.
I think Chad got a chair from the dumpster. Actually,
I got a best, bro.
You could have stole our chair, to be honest. Because chairs, you really could have taken. You really could have taken our chair out of our house, because the chairs at the Republic aren't standard anymore. So if they're there, they're just still there. If they go missing, it doesn't matter. They only replace the couches. So it's the same thing with the nightstands too, isn't that crazy?
Don't do that.
I think they, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how the apartment business works, but all that furniture that they throw away, I mean, do they get credit for
Just
it or
go
something?
dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's bad enough to the point, like if they go to our house and our couch is that torn up, then they charge you back to get a new couch.
Okay.
We took care of our stuff, so none of us got charged back.
except for the carpet where Chad got black paint all over.
Actually, I didn't get charged back for carpet. So if you did, I didn't.
I don't know if I did or not. Those, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get charged back for anything. We didn't even get charged back for Tyler's wall, his hole that he patched, the whole patch.
Wait, what happened with that?
So in the summer, because you weren't there, he got pissed and he punched a hole in the wall. Front door. Right when you go into the front door, you go in the living room. That wall right there, just a huge hole.
What?
Alex wasn't there either when that happened. Actually, were you?
Yeah, no, I was out of town.
Yeah, you already gone for the summer. Yeah, me, Daniel, and Tyler had to patch it, and Jose.
And how did y'all patch it?
Actually, now that it's hindsight, it doesn't really matter. It's funny because Alex and Will left, and we basically just filled their rooms for the summer. Anyways.
I mean, I don't care.
Jose lived in Will's room. No one lived in Alex's room.
Yeah, no, what do you mean? All my stuff was still in.
But yeah, no one messed with your stuff. But Daniel stayed there for the whole summer too. He just slept on the couch. So we still had 3 roommates the whole summer. Yeah.
Actually, all I know is I saved that boy a lot of money because I was paying for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because neither of these boys paid rent, but they were still living there. running up the utilities. You know what I'm saying? Did you check out, Will? Did you ever officially check out, or were you just still paying? That's what's weird, is they came in like 3 times, so they should have known because you were gone, and they didn't say anything to Jose about being in that room. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude literally came in and looked at Jose and was like, hey, how are you? And just didn't worry about it at all.
Yeah, I gave the keys back, so they took me off the utilities, so I was just paying the base.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Gone? That's crazy. And
even
we really had 2 people out here bumming the whole summer. I tried to tell Tyler we should charge him rent. He wouldn't let me. He said, no, we can't do that. I was like, I mean, just like $100, bro. I was like, $100, that's a couple meals for us. Even if it's just a brisket for all of us to consume, it was worth it.
You know what? One day, hopefully not, but you know, you do good things come back to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On this, dude.
I mean, if you did good things out there, the energy's gonna come back. So if you did, hey.
I mean, if you did it with a good heart,
right?
If you just did it, yeah. No, it doesn't count. Sorry.
It doesn't count.
Too bad.
You gotta be brought up by somebody else.
That's like Pharisee type stuff right there.
Did you help some lady at the marina or what? Yeah, let's not get into all that. Dang, I know, right? Do I need to?
Who's with you, Chad? Oh, Chad's with parents. Alex is with parents. Troy's with the wife. I'm with the wife. Technically, I'm alone, though, lately. She works at Lubbock, so she's still at home, but today she's here.
You know what's good about your situation, Garen? Is
what's up?
Everything is about 30 minutes away. You know
what do you mean?
Saying? Like your in-laws are 30 minutes away. Your home is like an hour away, an hour and a half away. Everything's like within an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be in Big Spring, you could be in Snyder, you could be in, Lubbock.
For now, whenever we move, we're 4 hours away from both of our parents, which I'm okay with. I mean,
4 hours?
Yeah. Claude's 4.5 hours from Big Spring and 4 hours from Snyder.
Jeez, and how far from Lubbock? Not like 2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours and 20 minutes from Lubbock. If you go on the interstate, if you go on the back road, it's just an hour and 45.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I'm probably like 16 hours from Chad then, and 10 hours from you. At that point,
that's gonna make it way harder to come down here, though. You know.
That's why I'm saying if y'all come to me though, I'm literally 10 minutes from Paladuro, from the middle of Paladuro.
No one wants to go to Austin anyway. Well.
Wow.
No, I already tried to get y'all to come to Austin. It was like pulling teeth. And
I don't know anything about that.
Listen,
it's 7 hours.
The thing was actually pretty big. If we made it happen. Yeah, that is true.
You live in straight Houston, Chad? Okay. It's 8 hours to Houston and 7 hours to Austin. So is Houston and Austin are not only an hour apart, are they?
No.
How does it only an hour extra? I guess it's a different route. I don't know. That's weird.
I guess it depends on the route, but from where I'm at to Katy is like 2:15.
Yeah, this takes me through Dallas to College Station and to Houston. It's only 8 hours.
Yeah. Hit us with the topics, Chad. What we got going on today?
Wait. I want to say just to say, it's 8 hours to Houston. What's crazier is we're only 4 hours we're only 3 hours from Oklahoma City, 4 from Denver, and 5 to Kansas City, and 3 to Albuquerque or Santa Fe. So it's closer to go to smaller states, big cities than it is to Houston, Austin, or Dallas from where we live. That's weird.
Yeah. Texas
is a big city.
I know, it's crazy. All right, now go ahead. All right.
That's where we go light. Training camp.
They're not doing OTAs, that's for sure. It's all online. They're not doing rookie camp. It's online. They're just so far. That's all they got. Everything's online. At this moment, they said that they weren't going to do preseason games. So we're waiting to hear in terms of the season now.
There's a good chance. This is just my feeling. There's a good chance the season's going to be pushed back.
I mean,
at least
we're about to start the ML. What's crazy is, so they did the TBT tournament, the $1 million basketball tournament, and it was in the bubble, just like the NBA is going to. They did it in the bubble, but it was at San Antonio. They ran it. No one got sick. Had a great time. One team won. But they're starting the NBA. They're in the bubble, you know. But the races, which granted, NASCAR is not as physical as the other sports, but there's still a lot of people. They're traveling place to place. And the MLB is about to open, and they're not going to play in a bubble. They're going to travel every city. So, I mean, and it starts next week too. So if that goes well, I would assume that would set the precedent that the NFL can participate in so college athletics.
So here's my thing, right? So here's my thing. Maybe we just don't have the accurate numbers of other countries, because it's not just the U.S., right? Like, this is a whole world issue. Other countries, I'm sure, have sports too. You know, like they have leagues as well. How are they doing it? Or if they are doing it, and if their numbers seem to be down, you know? So I'm like, are they not doing?
Yeah, Japanese baseball leagues playing.
They have leagues too.
Yeah, Japanese baseball's playing. The Premier League's playing, just like the MLS, though, empty stadiums.
And they're traveling. Right.
Yeah, they're traveling. MLS is traveling too.
So how come they're like, well, it seemed fine, right? We don't hear of like all these like
it is fine
numbers. Okay, so let's
say it is fine.
But
it's just a
here
fluke.
In the U.S. Yeah, but here in the U.S., either it is true or it's just the media. It seems like the world is ending tomorrow somehow.
Hey, you know. I'm almost I'm almost 98% positive that I had it on when I got married. Like, super solid because I had all the symptoms. I felt like death. I'm pretty positive that I had it.
Like
But here's the
before or
thing.
after the ceremony?
Before, like, I felt terrible the
But
2 days before we went up there.
Yeah,
And then
that's
I
weird.
went, and remember, because I went to the doctor. I don't know if y'all knew that. The day before, the day we went up there, so that Thursday, and got tested. Or they didn't test me. They just told me I had bronchitis. That was it. They gave me a steroid shot. I felt much better after 2 days of that and antibiotics. But I was terribly feeling. I couldn't even get out of bed. Kyle had to come help pick me up and take me to the doctor.
That's weird
So
because
he
we
got
were
it
all
too.
around you, and like I didn't get any. Like after I went back to Austin, I wasn't showing any symptoms.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, who
They say
knows,
that,
man?
and yeah, I don't know. And then our friend Josh, me and Tyler's friend Josh, got it. He says it's just bad allergies. If you're young, you're healthy, no big deal.
Yeah, but let's actually like this has got to be like low key part of it is just a media blow up. Like it gotta be.
Oh, right.
There's
100%.
no way. Spain is a huge country. Well, it's not like huge. It's small actually. It's small, but
It's pretty
the
nice.
UK, for example, like the United Kingdom is pretty big. Like, and these are major leagues, like La Liga, Premier League, and teams. It's like 30 teams on the league, and they're all traveling to rugby league, and they're fine. But the only thing that we have going right now, all the leagues are shut down. It's just the bubble. But it seems like it got to be the media. There's no way all these other countries. There's no way China is fine, and the U.S. is like tearing down. Like, there's just no way.
That's what I'm
There's
saying.
no way.
It's way worse than they're making it. Don't get me wrong. You should try to slow the spread because of what it does to people that are at-risk patients and elderly people. But it's the same thing with the flu. You don't go to a senior citizen home if you have the flu because you can kill them if you have the flu. Their immune system is compromised. So obviously, if they get the flu, they're going to deal with it a lot worse than someone that's 17 to 25 years old. So, and then, like, my mom is a nurse. Not that nurses know everything, but she works in the health system, obviously. And the more recent studies show it's like a mono. It's something you can just carry and not contract. So there's a lot of people that test positive that aren't actually sick. They're just testing because they're carriers of the not disease, but whatever it is, they're carriers of it. And so they never actually contract the coronavirus, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But honestly, I'm like, I understand the severity of it. And, like, even that, it's like, do we honestly have, like, I feel like if I was in Spain or something, or if I was in the UK, the information that I would receive from the media platforms, I feel like the media out there media anywhere in general is just, some of it's going to be corrupt. Not all of it's going to be 100% what you need to know or truth. But I feel like the US is just like the epitome of just, like, as far as media, just crap. Like, there's literally, like, I don't think, like, if any information is given out, like, probably 2% is the truth. So it's like, so you're like, is it really like this bad, or is 98% of it an agenda that needs to be pushed? And then people's lives are actually controlled by this. Like, people cannot go out, businesses cannot continue, but all these other countries that were supposed to be worse, Italy literally was like, yeah, they're dying and aid has to be sent, but like all of a sudden they're fine. But the U.S. is just burning down, and I'm like, it gotta be the media. I mean, the nurses are saying that.
Well, it's just like the numbers are. Yeah, the numbers are inflated too. It's like, okay, controversial topic, but George Floyd, his death is a reason for death was coronavirus, right? Because he tested positive in his lungs with coronavirus in his morgue, and it's like a whatever. I'm trying to think what it's called when they went back and checked him out. When the morgue person did it, what is it called? I can't think of it. I'm blanking. Yeah, autopsy. Yeah, the autopsy report said that he died of coronavirus because he tested positive in his lungs.
Yeah, but like people that.
So the numbers are inflated because there's people dying from other causes, and that's what they're putting down, coronavirus, because they're testing positive.
But then you don't want to be that dude that's like, yeah, but you don't want to be that guy, because there's nurses out there risking their lives and stuff like that, So you don't want to be that guy that's like, yeah, something else.
The best,
low-key, like, it's gotta be inflated.
The best turnout for this in, let's say, even a year from now, is for us to look back and say, man, we really overdid this. This was really unnecessary. We overlooked it. But we much rather that and have overdid it and only had so many deaths than to look back in a year and be like, man, we didn't do enough precaution and half our countries get dead. You know what I'm saying? So you win some, you lose some.
You know what they should do? Just get all the people, whoever was able to stop it in Italy, if it is stopped, just bring them over. Italy was burning down. And now they seem to be fine, at least from what we hear. So just bring them over, They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're playing soccer too. Series A is playing too.
Just bring the dogs and the execs, and we'll be good in a month.
Whew.
Yeah.
They also have the bubonic plague there right now too. So one case, but hey, it takes one case to start an epidemic. So that's real stuff right there. That actually kills some people. That ain't no game.
Is Troy even on?
What up?
I don't know.
You got something to say, dog?
No, I don't want to talk about something that we don't really know about.
Well, just how you feel about it, dog. What you mean?
Ain't nobody in here a doctor, bro. Everybody's just looking at Facebook headlines and news headlines and just everyone's repeating what everyone else says. Nobody knows.
Yeah, we don't know. Nobody said we know, but I'm just.
Does that not account for the? Wait. Does that not account for the hysteria that goes along with this? All is that nobody really knows. Not even doctors. They don't claim to know either.
So how can you go one
I think
way or
that's
another?
what Obi Hyden said.
We're not going anyway.
But you have to make a decision for your life's sake.
Y'all saying it's blown out of proportion.
You can't live scared either. The only thing I could fear is God, so just chill.
That's what I'm saying. I said I'll talk about something when I feel like I know something about it.
No, it's his decision.
I just want to repeat the things y'all are saying. I've heard 50 times from different people. I don't want to have a conversation that people are saying over and over and over. It's just repeated information.
I mean, if it's that consecutive, it's probably truth.
Well, we tried last time on last podcast, and then it turned into something. I don't know.
Well, okay, let's just say this, right? Let's just say this.
No, why am I being martyred for not speaking on something I know nothing about?
No, bro. Listen.
I'm not roasting you at all.
Hold on, one sec. No, that's not.
You asked me while I wasn't speaking. I don't know anything about it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not studying the infectious diseases. I don't know anything about it. I don't want to just speak. That's what I was saying earlier. I don't want to just speak to speak. If I have something to say and I have some information on it, then I'll say it. If not, then I don't want to feel like I'm contributing something to the world by just speaking. Usually, yeah, but usually they bring in someone who knows something about a subject and then they talk about it.
Rogan doesn't bring you. They're all a bunch of goofballs smoking weed, saying whatever they want to.
Okay, keep talking. Just don't mind me being silent.
Nah, what happened to your video though?
Bro, I was called out
Yeah,
because
we
I
were
wasn't
just
saying
making-
anything.
No, we just were wondering if you're still there.
Let's
No.
just not go back and forth on this, dog.
Chad.
What-
Chad, move it forward. No one wants to see you two goons argue.
Hey, what's up with your video, Troy? Your video's not showing up.
I turned it off because like every time I have it on, it makes y'all compete for each other and you'll sound like robots.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
If anyone talks at the same time, it goes crazy.
Alex, how do you feel?
Fair enough.
Do you need a medical book or?
I don't know, but every time you speak, bro, I get a ringing in my ears. Like I'm not even like that's not a joke, but I don't know if it's your mic or what, but it hurts my ears, so I turned you down.
Okay, maybe because I'm close by to my laptop, but
I don't know. That's all good. I turned
Alex,
you
how you
down.
feel about everything, Alex?
What's up, Will?
Can you hear me? I said, what do you feel about everything that's going on with the COVID and everything else?
Yeah, basically what all y'all said. Like, I've been hearing the same information. Like, so my uncle, on the other hand, he's a bit of like an older generation type of guy, and like he's willing to like kill people over this COVID stuff. So, like with like guns and like
Like to protect himself?
you know, like if there's like a war that's going to happen because of COVID, like the liberals versus the conservatives,
Oh my
like
goodness.
like he's gonna go down shooting.
Wait, we're talking about which uncle? Military uncle?
No,
Wait, let's not just put him on the spot. Let's just say uncles.
Okay. Is he this will be the last question for the uncle. Is he an anti-masker or a masker? Which side of the spectrum is he sitting?
he's a conservative.
Or is he just normal?
He said,
He's
Interesting.
normal.
this dude.
Wait, so go ahead. I want to hear this, Alex. I want to hear this.
Yeah, I don't care which one he stands on. I just wonder, since he was wanting to kill people, I didn't know how crazy he might be.
No, if the shooting starts, he's gonna go where the shooting is and kill people. That's
Okay. I shouldn't say that.
What's the reason for that, though?
Yeah, all right. Well, we just got demonetized, and
wait, like I really want to hear this though, because like this is what I be kind of saying. But
this is what these people be doing in the closets, Will.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I just want to. This is no, like seriously though. This is like a serious thing. I just want to understand, like how a certain generation might feel the way they feel, like for real. You know what I'm saying? Like they'd be like, "Oh, they better go shoot people." It's funny, but like I'm like, but why do they feel the way they feel? What's the you know what I'm saying?
You should have.
You can't speak.
Yeah,
for
you
him,
can't
though.
speak for someone.
Yeah, you're gonna have to ask. You can't. Alex can't speak for him.
yeah.
Well, he can speak for him, but what I'm saying is, if I know Ty, for example, let's say I know Chad. If Chad says something to somebody else that doesn't know him, I know Chad for 7, 8 years now. I can be like, okay, I kind of know Chad. Here's maybe what he could be thinking. I'm not saying like, yeah,
I mean,
this is
maybe,
what he
but-
said. Like, just like, why do you?
Oh,
feel
you're
like,
trying to ask him to defend him.
right? Like, why
Like,
do
make
why
him
does why do
more
you
rational.
think he's thinking that way?
Don't make him seem
You know what I'm
irrational.
saying? Like, yeah, like we got levels of brains. Yeah.
You know, no, he's dead serious. Like he's not joking.
Yeah. So, like,
about
why do you
anything.
think he feels that?
Well, Homeland Security's gonna be at your house soon, buddy.
I think so. He views it as like sticking up for, I guess, his country because, so he's conservative, and so he hates all these like Antifas, like young people, just like speaking like they don't know what they're talking about, and so if like
Sorry.
he's now you want to
Wait,
speak
go
for
ahead.
it?
No, I'm not laughing about you. That's kind of what we're doing.
Wait, go ahead. I really want to hear this.
Yeah, and so
No. Keep going. if you want.
He's saying we're talking about not something we don't know anything about.
So
Go ahead.
Yeah, but just be careful with this because you're speaking about someone and you're saying some crazy things. So just be careful about what you say. Yeah,
But it's
baby.
gonna be publicized.
Bro, you're
basically,
grown, bro.
basically he's making
ahead.
like the, I guess, a comparison of when we sought for independence from Great Britain.
So a patriot.
We didn't do it just by doing nothing. Like the people, I guess, before us, like stood for what they believe in, and he's just standing up for what he believes in.
Which
It's
is
just
what?
that hardcore.
But in an
patriot
essence,
thing.
so that's a good
Bro,
reason way to back him up. But in an essence, is that not what these people are doing? These Antifa members or whatever party, whatever they, these organizations of people. I don't know that's what they think they're doing anyways.
Yeah.
They're standing up for what they believe in.
It's all about perspective and like where you're at in the spectrum. So, of course, no one's like 100% correct. Like you don't have your opinion on things, but it's just
That's the
Yeah,
whole
that
man.
has to be a joke,
That's a
because I
whole
don't think
thing.
I'm not sure.
Ethics all boils down to opinion. There's no true right or wrong because there's no
Yeah.
way to actually establish that logically, either side. So it's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, I don't think I got the answer out of you, but I guess we can just move on. But I was just wondering.
He just said patriot. He
the-
thinks that way because he's a patriot. That's all.
Wait, so
that's all it can boil down to. Pretty
Quote
much.
patriot.
COVID?
Quote patriot. Quote.
What?
COVID or what?
Yes. So he's against wearing masks. He thinks they're a waste of time. They're pointless. And so you know how like HEB and Walmart are making people like wear masks, or
Right.
so he lives in Midland, which he's so like for his like I guess cause that he's driving to La Mesa, Stanton, and buying groceries from like little like grocery stores.
So he doesn't have to wear it. But
Yeah.
yeah, and did you see? Okay, just question out of the blue. Did you see Ben Shapiro's his tweets today? I think it was today. I'm not a huge Ben Shapiro fan. I'm just saying this because I saw it today. He posted the picture of like a population picture of a map of the amount of people per capita that wear a mask, and then he posted the picture of amount of people per capita that have COVID, where it's from, and it's the exact same area. But what he was trying to get at, people called him an idiot basically because they're like, "Oh, are you saying masks cause corona?" But that's not what he was saying. What he was trying to prove is in both of these scenarios is just really urban areas. So really the at-risk communities are where there's a lot of people dwelling in small square spaces. Instead, like out in rural country, Lubbock, I mean, even Lubbock is a bigger city, but like in rural country, Lamesa, Snyder, something like that, it's not as a necessity to wear a mask because you're just not in constant contact with somebody because you're not inside of a square foot with more than 2 or 3 people. So anyways.
But just a side note, who's going around counting people with masks?
I couldn't tell you. I assume.
Like, I mean, all right, this thing's 100K. I mean, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? like let's like some of these things.
So the New York Times, the New York Times is the one who posted the survey, actually.
Okay, but like think about that though. Like, all right, this Lubbock is 100K, Waco's 200K. Where do you get that from?
It's just the chance of all 5 people are wearing a mask in 5 random encounters. So it's just a survey. They probably they called their local people for each person. They walked around the first 5 people they saw. Were they wearing a mask? Yes. If they weren't, it's a survey, just like anything else.
Yeah, so the U.S. gotta be the only country doing that.
Oh, 100% it's only the U.S. People wilding out here, bro.
That's crazy. I'm just thinking of from so whoever's watching, if anybody's watching, but I was not born in the U.S., so I have a different perspective. I've actually lived in a different country, so like my perspective, I know how it is here, and I know how it is here and I'm trying to like combine things, and I'm like, it's crazy, bro. Like the U.S. is definitely, I want to say, one of the best countries, but also in its ways, one of the worst countries. It's crazy. It's like both.
So Will, where you're from, is there an epidemic of any kind where you're from?
So what's crazy?
Like, is malaria still a thing or anything like that?
Oh yeah, dog.
See?
I almost died. I think my parents told me I was little, so I didn't know what was going on. But they said I almost died one time with malaria, like straight up.
Yeah, and it's not
real.
like it's common and it's a big deal there, but it's not like anything close to this. They're not like, you know.
No, like it like people do. Okay, so actually, that's actually a really good question. So the way COVID is the way malaria is, but malaria it's not going away. Like there's no like quarantine and then it goes away. Like malaria is there. Like ever since I was born, my parents was there, and it will be there. But what they do is they have ways of how you can not get it. Like there's mosquitoes that transmit malaria, so you have to sleep under a like a net material on your bed. Every bed has this in Tanzania.
Yeah, it was the same way in Haiti.
Right. So to prevent that, and it's actually malaria kills like millions every year, but you don't hear about. But the way it's blown, if malaria was in the U.S.
Well, it was, but we have anti-malaria medication in the United States.
Well, yeah,
and vaccinations.
Right, but like the mosquitoes.
Yeah, but that's because everybody gets a malaria. Yeah, but that's what at some age everybody gets a malaria vaccination. That's why. Isn't that crazy?
Right. Well, I mean they do too in Tanzania, but the mosquitoes out there, the carrying rate.
So many.
Of those mosquitoes is way higher, but it's
crazy.
It was just a way of life. But prevent it. But it's crazy how it's.
But people in Tanzania don't live scared of malaria. Like they know that it could happen, but they don't live for their life. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not like everybody in the house, where you know what I'm saying, like.
Yeah.
So and then seeing this over here, where like something small can happen, and people that have whatever they're trying to do, it's like the world is ending tomorrow, like straight up. And you just like, wait, what? And so
when you get malaria, it's serious. Like you can seriously get sick.
I've had it at least 3 times in my life when I was young, and trust me.
And that's when you're young. When you're old. When you're old and you get malaria, it's over. There's no fighting it.
Dog. You're gone.
What was the treatment for it and for you, Will?
So they have there's a medicine they used to call, I'm not sure if that's the medical term, but it's quinine. That's the name of it. Maybe that's like the scientific term, but that was the shot. That was like to bring it down. Like you're not really curing it. It's there. It's part of life, but it brings it down, and then you feel better. You know, and then over time you just feel stronger. Your immune system comes back up, and then boom, and you're good.
If you're going to a country that has like it's a strong percentage of the chance that you could get it, and you're coming from the United States, you have to get the shot before you go. And I had to take, I think 14 pills by mouth for a 2-week period. Yeah, when I got before I went and when I got back.
Yeah.
So,
and it's serious.
Yeah.
But
it is.
And the symptoms are brutal. Trust me.
You said 14 pills?
Yeah, 14 pills. What? I think it was 7. I think it was 14 total. 7 before and 7 after.
Mm.
Yeah, and my friends, when my mom goes back or whatever, or my dad goes back, they have to do it. So I understand now. I understand something like this. You know what I'm saying? To an extent, in a different space. And I'm telling you, dog, I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, listen, people are dying for real, and it's serious, but the media is just, oh my god, dog, like you can't deny it. You know what I'm saying?
And in that retrospect, I'll play devil's advocate because they don't live scared of malaria there, but in essence, they still have precautions. Like we said, when you go to sleep, every bed has bug net over it to keep you. But at the same time, I don't know that that's really fearing of it, but it's more of just a precaution to make sure you're secure. But anyways, because it's also the living arrangement in general is also different in these countries. It's not
Right.
this wonderfully AC brick enclosed house that everyone's living in either. So there's a reason for those bug nets. So
there's a lot of factors,
yeah.
What's up, Chad? You gonna go to war? You're blocking your airway. That's the bottom line. Which is worse, right? Technically.
Yeah, because then you're probably touching stuff, and you're like, and then you're wiping it on stuff, so you're definitely spreading it.
Yeah, me too. The other day I went to the zoo, and like it's mandatory for you to wear a mask or to go to the zoo, and I had to wear it the whole time. And like, yeah, you were outside in hot weather, like.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Mandatory.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all, but at the same time, I mean, I prefer it without it, but it's not a big deal. But I mean, this is a norm in other countries before Corona too. You know, like in China, they have to wear it for the smog to be able to breathe good. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's this brand new crazy thing either. In Paris, they wear them, same thing.
So you have to wear it at my gym, bro. And I was like, the first day, I thought they were playing because I'm on the treadmill doing sprints, and the dude came up to me. He was like, "Yo, you gotta wear it at all times." And I was like, "Dog, I can't even breathe. I'm on the treadmill going 4 miles an hour. I can't even breathe."
Run outside, bro. Run outside.
Workout because I was like, "I'll die."
Yeah, you gotta take your sprints to the outside, brother.
Yeah, I was like, so now I can't run. I just go there and I just do like workouts, regular workouts.
Find a football field, run 40s, 80s, 20s, 10s, sprints.
So
something like that. It's better for you than the treadmill anyway. It's better on your knees. So.
Yeah. Please clarify that.
You wear it out of respect or because you have to? Oh, that's a good reason to wear it. Okay.
All right, so Chad, 2 guys naked.
I don't know. Oh yeah, Troy's example.
That was not mine. that was Alex.
Was that not yours? Was it Alex's?
Yeah,
no,
that's right.
No, was it? I thought it was Troy's example about the puking on the jeans.
No, peeing.
And the difference? Peeing. My bad.
Hey, Will.
Chad, what's up?
Can you turn off your camera and turn it back on?
We can't even see you, but okay. He wants to see me though.
Well, I would rather see that than little cubes floating around. There you go.
All right, hit us, Chad. Hit us.
All right, move on.
Reach. What's the question?
What I'll say, I'll start it. What I'll say is the church as a body of believers led by a shepherd named Jesus that are supposed to be his wife searching for, so the church as a body of believers, I would say, I guess I'm trying to think of what you're asking more specifically. You don't really have a good question here. You're just kind of leaving it open ended. So post culture BLM. Something going to change or should change? So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of different things. So in terms of a church, like the body of believers, like I said, they should believe that Black Lives Matter 100%. Now, I don't know that the church as a body of believers would back the corporation Black Lives Matter, because it's not as the same as what they're trying to say. But the movement itself, Black Lives Matter, yeah, I think they don't have any. There's no choice, but I mean, they have. I mean, everybody's an equal. Everybody loves. You're supposed to love your neighbor, so you have to love every people of any origin or whatever, no matter what they look like, because they're all the same. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the corporation, Black Lives Matter LLC, which is actually ran in a different, it really has nothing to do, and it's funded in a different way and all this. I saw them, just a funny, I guess it's not really funny, but something I saw. The Mormon Church actually posted a video about this, how they don't support the Black Lives Mattered LLC trademark and its entity, but they support the movement and its people, that they love them and all this. So, and I think they're right. I'll say that.
What is Troy?
And what I'll say is this has definitely opened my eyes too, with some churches. I won't name any names of churches or anything, but I've watched some churches and they're pretty harsh about this whole movement. And in essence, it's not biblical to be harsh in terms of the movement, because in no way are they asking for anything that's wrong or inherently wrong by any standard. I think that I do think, and I'll be brutally honest, I do think that everyone in this country has the opportunity to do whatever they want. Now, the circumstances that go within that may not be the same for everyone economically, and that's, I mean, there's no lying in that. There's no way to say that's true, because there are definitely people that are born into a better culture or better circumstances than are others. And I don't think that's just a racial thing either. I think that's all races. There's well-off individuals on every ethnicity and every not just ethnicity, but every culture or different origin that are taken care of. And there's people who come up from less than circumstances. So, and I think I would be naive to say that there's not a thing as white privilege or privilege in general. There's definitely privilege, but I also think that we can't live in a stigma that promotes privilege, or it'll always be a thing. If we live in a stigma that promotes that everyone can be at this level, then it would you could ultimately overcome it. But I think if we promote constantly that there's this stigma that only certain people are privileged, then it'll never be broken. If that makes any sense. Speak your mind, bro. The only person you gotta fear is God, bro. Honestly. Everybody else has an opinion on your life. It quite literally.
Hey, I don't know. You gotta watch out. He might lose his customers at the marina. You know what I'm saying?
Who are you talking to? Will? Are you talking to Alex?
Now go ahead. Chad was trying to say something already, so go ahead.
about like the Black Lives Movement, or yeah, because I know there's a difference between the movement and the organization. So I'm, I guess, uninformed about the organization. Like, what is their purpose?
You're misinformed or you're uninformed?
Uninformed.
The organization itself. See, so I'm not going to speak like I know everything. I'm not. But basically, what I've read and understand from the information that I've been given is that the company or the LLC, whatever, what it is it's actually ran by a bunch of white people, basically like Antifa, and they're the ones who fund the riots and stuff like that. And so it's not the peaceful protesters or the ones that actually have a definition and a meaning behind what they're doing, but the people that are solely out there to seek chaos and like make a distraction of it all.
Yeah, because I've been seeing like some of you like posts on like Instagram, or not Instagram, but like mainly Facebook, like saying if you want to like make a donation to the Black Lives Movement, don't do it through the organization, because the organization is going to use that money for something else.
Yeah. But I can't, like I said, I can't speak to be like a person that knows everything. I don't. I just know what I've been told, what I've read, and that's just kind of the things that I've been able to get out of it. So I have no idea.
I understand your point.
Although I get what you're saying, I don't think it's just the left. I think it's anybody with the with a political agenda that thinks that there's one right and one wrong. I'm just saying that out of truth. I know some pretty good people that have opposite mindset of me, and we can talk all day. And there's, they may not agree with me. They're not going to call me an idiot. They think I'm educated. They see where my logic follows. But I do know what you're saying, because there's definitely toxicity. But I know some pretty hard people to the right. And I'm not going to say a name or anything, but I'll say someone in my family. I'll just say that. And if you believe the opposite side, then his answer is, you're just stupid, and you need to die. And people are hateful. I'm telling you, they just don't understand that the only way you can ever understand two sides of a story is to listen to both, or not even story, but it's basic logic, or not even logic. Let me think of what I'm trying to say, but it's basic philosophy. If you want to understand, or not even understand, it is logic. If you want to determine what's right and what's wrong, you have to understand both sides of the spectrum. So,
I'll just say this. Actually, before I go, I want Troy to go. I want Troy to say something in this podcast, man. He has to say nothing all day.
Is he even at the keyboard? Or his setup? He probably just left.
Let's see.
just go, Will.
All right. Wait, Troy, you there?
Yes,
Alright.
not.
So yeah, I mean, I was just, as far as the political stuff, I've never really been into politics. I mean, Chad just explained the left for me there. To be honest, up to now, I didn't even know what the left was. Yeah. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, just life is life, dog. Like, I don't know what left is. I don't know what right is. Like, Chad just explained it just now. But if that's what it is, then dang, I mean, I guess. But but as far as politics, I'm not into politics. My friend asked me the other day. He was like, and as you get older, right? Like, at some point, you can't be ignorant forever. At some point, you gotta learn. Like, okay, like what's what? Like, okay, I gotta vote. Like, I haven't even voted yet in my life. So I gotta like learn, because people ask me like, yo, who are you gonna vote for? And I'm like, who's all running? But at some point, like, that's not gonna fly, right? At some point, you gotta be like, all right, dog. But
Kanye 2020.
yeah, like, you gotta know who's running, like, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, though, like, these dudes that are running, that we all know this. Like, let's keep it real. The dudes that actually like have good hearts and actually trying to do like logic, like Chad said, just logic. Like, yeah, obviously we should do this and we should.
John
do this.
McCain.
Like,
they don't get elected.
They never actually get to have that push behind them to actually make a run. Let's be honest. This is bottom line.
Ron Paul.
So the
John
people that are
McCain,
the top already that are getting pushed up, people have the people with money are behind them because there's an agenda that they need to push. So usually they're not the best people, bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So you end up picking like, all right, let me see who's the least evil. You know what I'm saying? Then you go with that. But, it is what it is. But as far as the church, though, the initial question, if there's a church out there that's still like, if there's a church out there that does not understand what Chad just explained, like the obvious, like, yeah, all lives should just matter, like they're people. If you don't get that, you're not a church, dog. They're just bottom line.
Then you're not, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody has to like explain to you, like, all right, so that you're not a church. It is what it is.
100%.
I think if you're a Christian, you follow the Bible. The Bible tells you everything.
And support in the sense of pushing an agenda, and support in the sense of being there are two different things too. And the church should always be there for no matter what organization they are. Because that's what they're called to be, is be the hands and feet of Jesus. So whether this is a neo-Nazi party or anything, they should be there to do nothing but put love into those people.
Does
that mean they should be neo-Nazis? No.
No.
Does that mean Jesus was a prostitute when he hung out with the prostitutes? No. But was he there to love them? He was available. That's what it takes.
But is it 2020 and are we in the U.S. and churches we got West Baptist, Lubbock Baptist, Right Baptist? Yes. So these churches,
but is that church? That's my question to you then. Is that church? Or is that the true church of God? When you're determining the left and right inside of a church, is that the church of God? Or is that people making their own agenda inside of a church? That's what I would ask.
A good 50, if not 60% of these churches are not really churches, if you really break them down. You know what I'm saying?
Because definitely, I'll say this, and this is going out on a limb, and I may even get crucified from some of you, but 100% God or Jesus, they would not sit on either the left or the right. Neither party fits perfectly in either of their and in who they are, not in any way.
Maybe I'm tripping because I just don't know, but nobody should be either on the left or right?
If you're a Christian, you should be a Christian first, 100%.
No, I'm not even a Christian.
And I get crucified. I guess, but I don't. I think we live to a higher standard even as a Christian. You're not just human.
Yeah, but then
right.
But
I mean, in essence, yes, all humans should just be Christians, but that doesn't work that way.
Right. But let's not complicate it, right? Because even Christianity, that's religion we're putting on. So just as humans, I should love Chad just like I love you, and Garen, and.
But that's not true because the chemistry doesn't involve that. It's not a natural. It's not a natural emotion. It's a learned emotion.
Right. But what I'm saying is I shouldn't want Chad to start.
So there's but morality doesn't have anything to do with humanism or humanistic tendencies at all. Morality basically skews from religion to its core, because you're chemically your common sense doesn't determine morality, doesn't determine your ethics. See that's the question: is it that or is it your culture?
No, because whenever you're born, kids don't know anything. When you were born, you didn't know anything. If
I grew up in France, where it's okay to be an adulteress, that's just an open thing. They don't care. Sex is a free thing there. So, but that's a learned moral skill for me. Is that's an okay thing there. But then I moved to the United States where it's not an okay thing. Right. You see what I'm saying? My humanistic tendency is now that morality that is immoral, even though my brain says it's moral because that's the way I've been wired.
Yeah, but I think you can drop two humans in the Amazon, and deep inside they will know that, hey, I should not kill the man next to me.
I don't know.
Right?
Have you ever seen nomadic people come into conflict with each other?
Nomadic people, that's like nomadic people. What I'm saying is
pretty instinct, but that would be two random people. That would be an instinctive move at that point. It would come down to instinct. Instinct is definitely is not the love.
Yeah, but basically what I'm saying is, politics, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I'm not their left. I don't know. I'm not a left or right. I'm just a person.
No, I agree.
If I hit you up, you don't hit me back, I'm salty. That's not left or right. That's just human. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. People are going to be what they are. But as far as the church, though, the church should be the church, and that's just that.
This is one of my biggest problems with church is this stigma that you have your side, I have my side, and no, you're not right, I'm not right. We're just gonna fight to the death, and we're just gonna make it our own denomination and color our carpet a different color. That's just, come on now. You need an answer to a question, it's in the Bible. If there's not an answer to that question in the Bible, it's probably not a question that's relevant. Then you're picking apples over oranges. You know what I'm saying? So one thing I would like to add, that is the biggest thing. It's not black and white. And one of the biggest things people don't know, I'll say this, and I'm an American, I'm born and raised. I've spent minimal time overseas, or not even overseas, but out of this country. But in the time that I've spent out of this country, and I'm sure Will can attest to this, you completely understand what freedom means. And what people don't understand is how free they are here. Man, until you've seen the things in other countries, it's like your whole life has changed. You'll value what freedom means so much more. So I'll say that at a minimum, but yeah.
Honestly,
yeah,
though,
that's all I'll say.
But there's levels to it. Like, I think what it is it's not necessarily freedom, but it's the fact that you can be anything.
Yeah.
Maybe you meant to say that, but it's not like freedom as in like nobody's gonna bother you. Like you will be bothered. You know what I'm saying?
It's just the difference of fears too. It's like the understanding of what you fear in America is not the same thing that these people fear in other countries that they have to live with every day. Like just at the minimum, slavery still exists in the modern world, and people don't know that. They think that like slave culture and like what we talk about in America, what our like breakup is, like that's all pastime, but that still happens. I wouldn't say that it happens as much in America. It still does in terms of prostitution and like sexual slaves. It's still not quite the same, but slavery in other countries is still a thing. People actually own other people. While I was in another country, I saw someone. So a modern thing to happen, and they explained this just before we even got there, in Haiti. If a family can't afford something, they sell their child to that family to get what they need. And that child is a slave. He does all the chores. He takes care of their house, and he's given the scraps for dinner. He wears the worst clothes. Like when we went into a house to give kids something, there was another kid there, and we asked and they said no, he doesn't get anything. It's because he was the slave of the house. And that's what's sad, is that's actually something that still happens in this world, and it's life changing. And that's the bigger fish we have to fry in the world.
Wait, those guys are gone a long time ago, and their statues are still up. Why? Wait, you're saying that if I own slaves now and I'm gone, and in 3030 my statue is up, I did great things? But these guys are
I'll say this: I'm not against tearing down the statues.
slave owners, right? The statues?
Yeah, so what Chad's saying, they weren't great because they owned slaves. They were great for the ideals they built for a nation. Like,
okay, but like if
it's
I'm
weird, but
LeBron James, yeah, like if LeBron James is the GOAT, but he was a rapist. I mean, he was the GOAT, but he was a rapist.
but this like wait, stop.
Afghan, wait, Afghan,
Wait, what I'll say.
No, well, that's not what I'm saying. You're missing the point. What I'm saying is, look at this from the base, like human level. Like, forget everything else. If I own slaves right now, and then I build Austin out. In 3030, my statue's up because he built Austin. But I own slaves too. So should my was I really great? If we're looking at my totality.
Listen. So listen.
Okay, and what else would you do?
Listen though.
Like,
so there's two.
You don't just look at the highlights. Like, was he a good human? I owned slaves. I was not a good person. By owning slaves?
Was he a good human though, or was what he did was good, and that's why?
By owning slaves,
okay.
He was a good human. So it's not. So was he a good human? But he owned slaves. He's a rapist.
Wait, but you can't stand on this necessarily. I don't know. So what I'll say is this: the argument for this. Listen. The argument for this in a philosophy thought would be: so you live in a culture, right? You grow up in a culture, right, Will? And you grow up to a standards inside of this culture. So in our culture, equality is a big deal. It is. Homosexuality isn't a big deal anymore, at least. Not that I'm saying it is or isn't, but inside of our culture, it isn't. But we go 100 years forward from now, and let's say pedophilia isn't a big deal at that point now. But the culture has changed. Does that make any sense? I'm not saying that slave owning is correct in any way, but in their day and generation, they didn't see the totality of what slavery was at all. Does that make him good? No, I don't think it does at all. And I would never say that slavery was an okay thing.
Okay, but now
in general, what he's saying is the same argument that I was making a while ago when I was talking about the guy in France. So this is how they lay it out in ethics. You grow up in a European country, or not, you don't even grow up. You say you grow up in America, you understand that adultery is wrong. But then you go over to France. You fly over to France where it's okay to be an adulterer. You commit adultery and you come back. Is what you did wrong? Or is it okay? Because you were in a region where that culture is okay.
Because as a human, forget the culture stuff. You're a human at the end of the day.
And I agree that regional distinction does not change your ethics at all.
If you're already woke,
but
why are you going back to being blind?
So, but we have to keep the same thing because it's constantly changing. So one of the because
wait, let me say something.
One of the cultures. Okay.
So what Garen is saying is, if in U.S. adultery is bad, and you go to France, it's okay. You left the U.S., you know adultery is bad. You're woke. If you go to France and you do adultery, and then you're saying so is it okay there? I'm like, no, because you already know that it's wrong. You're already woke. Why are you going back to being blind and acting like it's okay now all of a sudden? Because you're in France. If you're a Christian now, if you leave now, you're already woke. You're a Christian. If you go to a bar and clap some stripper, now all of a sudden, no, it's okay over here though because I'm in the bar. No, you're already woke.
I'm with you. Oh, that is a modern day cop out in ethics.
I'll just explain the chat.
No, I'm with you, but yeah, I'm trying to think. There was something else I had to say though.
But I had a question for
you. But yeah, they're basically.
I had a question for
go ahead.
Gary. But so for being woke, the point he just said for the adultery point. If you're woke and it's a different generation now, so now you're woke. Back then there was nothing wrong with slavery, right? Because they're like, hey, you know.
Yeah, it's still wrong. We can't say in any way that it was wrong. But you can't change that.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. But you were saying that culture stuff, and to your point, that if back in the day they thought it was okay, and they built the statue and everything back in the day because the generation was different. Okay, I give you that. Right? If it's 2020 and it's a different generation and people are woke, and you have a problem with that statue being broke down now that you're woke, are you woke?
I don't have any problem.
But that's what I'm saying. Are you
problem
woke
with it.
or are you still blind? Or still blind? Right. You're blind. Right. Because I'm telling
Soon
because here's
happens.
the point. Right, because I'm telling you this, right? So here's a statue, and I'm bringing it down, and you're like, "Yo, why are you bringing it down? This dude was a good man." And I go,
Okay, so that's what my question was. But let's follow up. So if we're gonna do this, are we gonna nitpick every person for their mistakes? I mean, the greatest people behind, like just in terms of schools of thought, most of the people that are behind schools of thought were pedophiliacs. So most people in Greek culture were pedophiles because most of them, the way that they taught their students, the students where they paid their teachers, is they had to sleep with them. And this is all men. There's no women involved. But we stand by all of their opinions and all their thoughts. We leave everything up. That's why I'm saying I agree that they're wrong.
Yeah. And if you took them down, I wouldn't have a problem with that if I'm woke. I would be like, yeah, they're wrong.
No, I agree. And I think the statues is different too. That's what people need to learn too. Is the statues in terms of instead of school of thought is different too. Okay, so we don't have to get rid of their schools of thought and their understanding of ethics because it has changed.
Right.
Or in this case, we don't have to get rid of these slave owners like thoughts and things that they put in the Constitution that are ethically correct. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
we don't have to have a statue of them.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying.
Honestly, we don't have to have a statue of anyone. Is it not incorrect anyways for us to have false idols anyways and be building statues of people?
Yeah, but here's the point. I don't want you to miss the point. Strip down all the stuff, and I know y'all grew up out here, so like we don't have another perspective per se. But I just want you to understand this. To your point, Garen, the whole adultery thing. You're woke now. All y'all are woke.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just telling you that's one of the common default arguments.
Yeah, if I go outside right now in Austin and there's a statue and I bring it down and you ask me why you're bringing it down, and I tell you that this dude owned mad slaves back in the day, and so we're bringing it down. We're woke now. It was wrong. And you're like, wait, are you crazy? He's already gone. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, you're not woke. Bottom line. To glorify good people. Right.
Which is wrong anyways, if you're a Christian. Right? I mean, there's no argument to this.
Go ahead. Okay. You don't think so? That's the problem, though. If you don't think but you don't think other human? Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay, let's do this.
Well, that's why I say there's two different trains. There's two different schools of thought. There's a school of thought that believes your mistakes define you, and there's a school of thought that believes your successes define you. So you have to choose because you can't have both. You can't have this man was inherently like you can't have. I'm trying to think of. I mean, I have some good examples, but I just don't know. I don't use them. But you can't have. We're going to promote this character because he did the right thing here, but he owned slaves. But we're not going to promote this character because he was a pedophiliac, but he did the right things too. You know, you can't outweigh, and it goes in every retrospect. Like it's not just pedophiliac, racism.
Screw everything else. Just bottom line. If I treat you against your will, I don't care what I do in this world, I'm not a good person. Bottom line. You don't see a problem with that? If I treat you and your family against your will and your generations, Just from a human level. You're a human. Okay, so that is not a way, just from the basis of life, just God created.
No, it does. It does.
That's like the worst thing you could do in life. That outweighs everything you could ever do, ever. You could build the world.
I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing in life. They could take all these people's lives away. But in essence, they are. I agree.
So
And I'm not taking a definition, but it's not murder either.
So what I'm saying is whatever that good person did. Yeah. So what I'm saying is whatever that good deeds that person did.
Just to clarify, people, I'm not fighting for racism or slavery in any way. Bottom line, it's terrible. It's the worst thing you could ever do.
Uh-huh. Okay, so let me ask you this right there. Stay right there.
So, go ahead, Will. I'm sorry.
All right, so you're on those universes, and I tell you, you're on the no slavery one, and I show you a person that did slavery. So are you gonna hop on the slavery side and be like, okay, but he did good things, so I'm gonna for this I'll hop in, or no?
No, I'm with you. Take it down.
So you want me to show you? So you see, that's what I'm saying. See, Garen, that's what I'm talking about. So
no, I'm with you. I'm with you. No.
That's what I'm saying. So they gotta show you things. You're on the no slavery button universe.
No, I've always been with. I'm okay with them taking out statues. I'm not.
That's what I'm. Regardless of whatever to be shown, the bottom line is if you're on the slavery, not slavery thing, like no slaves, period, no period or whatever. That's that, bro. Like there's no slavery.
No,
it's like you don't see that's the worst
I'm
thing
with
ever.
you.
I can't believe y'all can't see that.
No. I'm with you. I'm not saying it's not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not fighting against you.
What did he do? What did he do that deserves to own slaves? So?
Joe Paterno.
Okay, but slavery is not. Hey,
okay, wait. So your argument should correlate. It's just America, bro. It's just
America.
a
That's what I'm saying. It's just the world.
Don't you live for something higher?
But that's
are you
the problem.
Christian? Where's your ultimate call to? Is it Christ or is it America? That does determine. There's two different things.
Wait,
no, it is. No one's hating on that either.
Okay, so here's like what Garen was saying. Are you a Christian?
Yes or no? It's not. It's not. Your calling is higher than America.
In life, listen, all right, this is what I learned. You cannot change a person, dog. That's just the bottom line.
I mean, but you can.
You either cannot.
Your heart can change.
You cannot. Yeah, there's no. Okay, here's what I'm saying though. The fact that G gets it and you don't get it, let's be real. If it's you, and let's say there's two people. Let's say it's me and G. It's you, and then there's me and G, right? G, let's say there's something that you're like, hey, for example, this is just an example, it's not you. Let's say, hey, raping somebody is wrong. I don't care what else is going on. G says, yes, I believe that, and I say no. And you know that, yo, like, what the heck? Raping somebody? Like, I don't care what else happens after that. He's off. He got to go. You believe that? In your head, you know where G stands now, and you know where I stand now. And you're in your head, only you know, all right, so, okay, I know this dude is this kind of person, and this dude is this kind of person. Bottom line. That's any human. And you can't change them. But what I'm saying is, And you grew up in a big town. Like, you grew up in what, Houston, so San Antonio, and all this. No, that's slavery. That's not an opinion. That's like with slavery. With slavery, yes, no. They own slaves because they own slaves. Bro, they could have built the moon. They could have built the moon. Gee, do you feel me on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. It's like what Chad went back to earlier. What I can say is I can attest to you. I say take it down. It's not that big of a deal. Put it in the history books what they did. Let's learn from there. We don't need a statue. I'm not a statue person to begin with, though. But what I will say is, like Chad said earlier, there's no black and white. It goes back to the Cowboys and Indians thing. You know, everyone wants to make the Indians out to be the victim. But in an essence, they were both a victim and they were both a prosecutor. They both played both sides of the game. So in no way is it as black and white as you want it to be, and there's no way they're a clear right and wrong. But I will say, in this retrospect, slavery, there's a clear right and wrong.
Black and white. There's nothing else that comes after that. If you're a pedophile and you build America, you're out. I don't care what you do. That's the bottom line. That could have been your kid. You do, because you're tripping about the slavery thing. Yeah, you're wrong. Okay, that's my wrong. You gonna tear down a statue?
What was his wrong? I'm sorry.
Okay, let's say my wrong. Okay. No, just examples. Let's say my wrongs were I lied, I watched porn, and I stole. Is that gonna tear down a statue? And then somebody else is like, yo, his wrong is he don't play for lying.
Well, in a retrospect, in terms of the eyes of Christ, if you're a Christian, the way you believe, there's not a difference in wrongs. There's no hierarchy of wrongs. There's not. In terms of, but God would see a slave owner the same. He would see a habitual liar. He was the same, filled with sin and evil, and apart from him.
Here's what it is. The Corona stuff, we don't take it serious, right? Why? Because somebody in your family did pass away, right? If somebody in your family passed away, you'll be wearing a hazmat.
Then you're automatically wearing a mask,
and you'll be wearing a hazmat suit. So,
and not for and let's clarify, it's not for yourself, but you'll be wearing that for others because you don't want other people to go through what you've been.
But also, you will know the pain. You will know it's real.
Yeah.
Because your loved one just went. But if they never went, like, well, what the heck? Like, what does it matter? That's the difference. The difference is my people were put down. So to me, it's like, bro, what? I don't care what if he built God's jaw, he's gone.
I think it all boils down to one thing,
he did.
Sorry. Well, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think it all boils down to one thing, and it's respect.
Right.
And you can't say, truthfully, you can't say that these people had respect if they were owning other humans.
Humans, bro.
Humans. They had hearts. They had mouths. They had lungs.
Humans.
They had hands. They had arms. It's the same. And there's no argument where you can win this on the opposite side, especially if you believe in pro-life. There's no way you can be a pro-life believer and also think that. No way.
There's no way.
And that's why I say God can't sit on either side of the parties. Because the people who call for these statues to go aren't usually sitting on the right side of the spectrum, but the left. But the left would say that they should have a choice. So But like I said, in any way, there's no way where you can choose.
Bro, slavery's black and white though.
He's trying to correlate that.
Do you think slavery's black? Why? What? All white people. They were not white people. I mean, who put it up? Was it black people? Okay, but you're wrong. No, we can't change it. We can't change it, but we can take them down.
Yeah, because they're not changing the history.
You're not changing the history.
He says that's what Chad. You need to realize that me and Will's Chad. You need to realize me and Will's point of view isn't to the point of taking him out all together. We say take down the statue and inform the people inside of classrooms like you're supposed to in your education.
But the problem is, here's the problem. This is why they what's the problem? What's his name? Drew Brees. This is why they crucified him. Whenever he came out.
Well, and we have to realize it wasn't his teammates.
No, Here's the point. The reason Drew Brees came out is because honestly, he didn't know. Like when you don't know, like if I give you a test and I never showed you this stuff and you fail, like I can't blame you. You know what I'm talking about? Like he was actually ignorant to it. Like he didn't know. He was like, wait.
Ignorant to what? I would like you to follow up. I would like you to develop more. No, he posted his apology out of respect for his teammates. His teammates talked to him, and he definitely posted that out of respect.
They came out. There was a whole interview.
It's public knowledge.
We know that.
That's what he said. I'm not speaking for him.
No.
That's what he said. I'm not speaking for him.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what his apology was all about.
Listen, this man.
So we can take that at face value.
Okay, but
there's nothing more than that.
Bro, okay,
well,
listen.
I mean, what else do I do?
Listen. Drew Brees came out. Okay. Malcolm Jenkins is the captain of the team as well. Well, he's going to be a captain. And they spoke. Malcolm Jenkins spoke to Drew Brees. Okay, and they spoke, and he came out and he's like, "Dog, I understand all your points. This is what he said."
And basically, Drew's point now boils down to what I told Will in Snapchat. It may not be his preferable time for a protest or anything like that, but he also believes in the freedom that they have, and if that's where they feel like it's best cause, then he's all for it as a captain, and you can respect that.
I respect, bro. Listen, I can speak from my experience. At least me, for myself, I'm very forgiving. Like somebody can do me wrong, and I'll still like help that dude out. Like that's just how I am, and I can speak the same for many of the people I know of my type. That's just who we are, bro. Like you can cut me up, and I'll still be like, "Well, dang, I mean, but like it's my dog."
Well, that's like they talked about today. Colin Cowherd talked about this because a lot of people are enraged that Myles Garrett got a long-term deal with the Browns because of his violent act he had against whatever his name is, the quarterback, Mason Rudolph. That's his name. When he hit him with the helmet, a lot of people are pissed about it. They're like, why would they commit to this dude long-term if he's like that? Man, he deserves the same a chance at an apology. He gave his apology. He said it was all out of, and now you got to respect him, man. People make mistakes. Well, so we're not going to crucify Myles Garrett for his mistake. Well, we're not really talking about football. We're talking about pop culture opinion and the opinion of people that are higher in our society. And their opinions ultimately do matter because they're key influencers. But they are key influencers in our culture, 100%. You can't say that they're not.
Listen, man, you can't change nobody. You can't change nobody. This is life, all right?
So it's not just football.
Right, this is just life. As long as, I mean, I'm good. As long as nobody tries to get in my house or take my stuff, people can freaking think that, hey, this dude built the whatever. Even if he killed 100 babies, give it to him. Hey, that's you. But as long as nobody's trying to take my stuff or trying to harm my family, hey, it's all love. But to me, my principles are still the principles, as they should be. I have high expectations to a lot of people. Y'all know me by now. I can't expect too much out of people. But I'm learning, like, you can't expect too much out of people. To me, slavery, I don't care what you do. Pedophilia, I don't care what you do. Rape, I don't care what you do. There's things to me that I don't care what you do after that. You know what I'm saying? I can forgive you, but I'm not going to forget. Like, there's things in life, you touch my mom, you cross the line, you're gone. There's things in life that I stand on. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things that,
and what I'll say to that is,
there's
what I'll say to that,
I don't think anybody is.
and what I'll say to that, listen, is it's not common sense. And why I say that, I want you to listen with your whole ears. I want you to hear what I'm saying. It's not that I don't want to agree with you. What I'll say right now, my grandmother's is married. She just married an ex-murderer. Literally, she was his prison guard at the prison, and he just got out of prison 3 years ago, and he reconnected with her somehow, and they just got married. If you think I don't know this, I know what you're saying. It's that deep. What I'm saying is, if you're a Christian, you're born again, you follow the heart of Jesus, then you can't see it that way. It's not a forgive and not forget. It has to be a forgive and forget. Because you have to believe that other people's hearts can change. Whether you're naive to that fact or not, you have to believe that way. Because if you don't, then you couldn't believe that your own heart could change in a world to be... you couldn't believe that your own heart could change against sin, ultimately.
Wait, whenever you...
And now it goes deep. Go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sure whenever you're 5 years old, you remember that trip to Schlitterbahn.
I didn't. What do you mean? Explain.
I'm sure whenever you're 6, you remember that trip whenever you went fishing with your parents. Like, you can't really, like, forget. You know what I'm saying? Like, what they mean is don't keep coming back to it. But what I'm saying is I can't forget it. Like, if something happens, I can't remember that till I die. Like, I'm not going to forget. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you're not going to hold it against them, is what I'm saying.
Right. Like, don't come back to it and happen it. Right. But you
just have to understand that Christ... No, they do, because you have to understand Christ's understanding is it breaks common sense. It's just like, because if he lived in that mindset, he could never truly forgive us for our sin, because he would always know in the back of his head that we want to be, that our heart's desire for some reason is to separate ourselves from him. But he can't work that way. He has to forget it in order to cover for us. You know what I'm saying? If not, then it wouldn't make any sense.
He was superhuman, so maybe he has a race buddy. We don't have that.
But and I think that's true. I think that attests to our sinful nature. I'm with you. I think that's one of the problems that we have, and that comes from our sinful nature. So I'm with you, Will, on that.
Go ahead, Chad. Let me ask you this. Chad, let me ask you this. Yeah, let me ask you this. Okay, God forbid, right? So in an imaginary world, let's say you're not Chad and you're somebody else, but like it's you obviously, but just put yourself in like another universe. And you have your other family. Don't think about this family. You have your other family, right? You have things that you stand on, right? Like there's things that if somebody crosses you, then it's just a wrap. It's bottom line. You have those, right? I hope. Okay. Well, you'd be surprised. But anyways, so think about that. Whatever that is, right? Somebody is let's say to the Asians, a great Asian did a lot of great things. But one of the things he did is what that level to you. They crossed you on your level. But there's this great Asian. Oh man, he built Hong Kong. To you, if their statue is going down because they did that, do you still go, no, keep it up? Bottom line. It's the truth to me, though. Slavery is not a setup to me. Like, people actually died. It's not a setup. So
There's
to
more
me,
than death.
that's why I compared it to you. See how putting your
bondage
shoes?
is personally bondage is worse than death.
You see how I put that in your shoes? Okay, so that's how I put in your shoes. So that's what it is. So if you don't understand that, is what I'm saying. That's the problem, right? If somebody didn't understand that, what's your problem with it? Listen, if I was the Asian, okay, but like, I feel you, but check this out. If I'm an Asian, though, in 2020, and somebody's trying to take down this great Asian man statue, but that Asian man back in the day did that thing on that level to you, I should be able to understand and be like, dang, dog, hey, he did all this, he built Hong Kong for me, but golly, boy, that boy was wrong. I got to be able to see that.
Okay. I want to pick your brain here, Will.
And take it down. Take it down. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, you it's not? That's why I asked you what do you stand on. That's why I said you'd be surprised. People don't have stance. What is it that if I cross you, you're just like, bro, I don't care what happens after this, you crossed me. That value to you, you got to have that. And I don't think you got one of those because you just passed that.
Okay, so I have a question, Will.
Okay, but Chad, if you're you and I'm the Asian and you're like, bro, he got to go down. If I'm the Asian kid and I don't see that, you should have a problem with me. Because that they help you. So why don't you understand this then? If I'm somebody you like, and I'm your brother, quote unquote, and I have a problem with it, and I'm that Asian kid and you're my brother, and I will do okay. So let's say so that's the point, right? So it comes down, hey, am I your brother? Or am I your acquaintance? Right? Because if I'm a Chinese kid and you have a problem with that, and I don't see that, am I your brother? Bottom line. Am I? That's the line. If I'm not, it's cool. I'll be like, hey, bro, we're not taking that down. What you talking about?
My question is, Will, how far do we want to take? Will,
now, go ahead.
How far do we want to take cancel culture, though? So I'm with taking down the statues, 100%. How far do we want to follow this up? Wait, listen, Chad. Like to the point, like.
There we go. Close it.
So go ahead, close your point, and then I'll pick up. So,
close it, bro. Then he'll say,
like I said, the cancel culture. How far do we want to go? Because like they're trying to get rid of Aunt Jemima. Because it portrays an older stereotype of what black women were for white people, which is a truth. If you've ever watched The Help or read the book The Help, it talks about this stereotype and it actually lays it out for what it was. But they want to cancel Aunt Jemima because she portrays this figure, but in the essence is she the whole reason she's the face of that brand is because she was a success story and beat that stigma. So I wanted to see how far do you want to go to cancel culture? Do we just want to delete everything that's bad? So because that stereotype portrays something that is ultimately bad, do we want to delete Aunt Jemima or do we want to keep her because she was a success story? Where would you sit on that spectrum? I'm just picking your brain.
Mine or Chad's?
Yours.
Oh. So you said she was what did she do? She was a success story? What she do?
Yeah, so you know what Aunt Jemima is, right? She makes pancake batter and all that kind of stuff. Pancake batter, syrup. Aunt Jemima, yeah. So
you said Jemima.
her stereotype, her stereotype is the mammyism, which is a true thing. It's not necessarily a stereotype. Back in the early 50s to 40s, really from the 30s to really for farther back than that, but all the way to about the 50s and 60s in Jackson, Alabama, which it's more than just Alabama. In the South, black women or African American women, let me be more correct here, were nannies to the white children, and the white children called them mama because that's who actually raised them and took care of them for pay.
Right.
And people are against that stereotype for black women because it obviously was a negative thing. They were paid very poorly. They weren't treated. They were not treated as like a nanny today. They were treated as like a house slave, basically. They even had their own bathroom in places. This is a documented thing in movies, books.
So what's the question?
So the people of our cancel culture today want to get rid of Aunt Jemima because her picture and the icon that she picked, because this is her brand, is how they dressed for that stereotype. So it portrays that stereotype. So they want to get rid of her. But she is a success story. She broke that stigma and became a world icon.
How does she become a world
which
icon?
side of the spectrum? She's everywhere. Aunt Jemima literally is trademarked and sold everywhere in the world.
Right. Does she own it? Does her family own it?
Yeah, her family owns it. Yeah, this is
This
is her brand.
Except her family.
What was it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I don't know that it is up to their family because our cancel culture today pushes people to do whatever they want. You know what I'm saying?
That's if Grandma Cooley or great grandmother Cooley did something and the Coolies are benefiting from it, it's for the Coolies to make the decision. The great grandmother Cooley is the one that suffered, not somebody sitting on their keyboard. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, but that's the way it works. It's weird.
So, but the PA, it's gonna happen. Whatever happens, I don't have control over it. But as far as decision is, whoever's great grandmother is the one that suffered. So that family, if it's benefited from it and it's theirs, they're the one that are enduring the pain. So it's them. It's up to them. It's not up to some dude to decide. That's how I feel about it. All right, what's your call?
And she's actually trademarked by Quaker Oats now.
Okay.
That's who owns the trademark for Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, as long as the family owns it. Go ahead, Chad.
Which is owned by Pepsi Company.
depends on the wrong, right? Can you also agree that? It depends on the wrong, right? Can we agree on that? We don't want to look like, hey, did they pee? Did they lie? Did they cheat? Like, no, it depends on the wrong, right? Can we agree on that? But that statement there, can we also understand that it just, if you're a person that has certain grounds, somebody cannot say that? Can we also agree on that? If you have grounds and somebody says, hey, there's wrongs and rights, and on that scale is there things that can outweigh the right? Somebody that has grounds can be like, yeah, there's a couple things that are my grounds, and no, nothing can. There's things that can outweigh the right. Can we agree on that? Right, right. So yeah, what I'm saying is, can everybody, according to their beliefs and their grounds, can they say, you're saying that you got to look at the wrongs and the rights, and there's some wrongs that outweigh the right? What I'm saying is, that's just generally speaking, that is a statement. But also, can we also say that somebody that has certain grounds and morals, there is wrongs that can outweigh the right. There are wrongs that can outweigh the right. Is that correct? Okay. So it depends on the person. It depends on the culture of the person.
I wonder.
Okay. Here's here's my question. Just and I know you have the capacity to understand that. That's why I was like shocked. I'm like, yo, this is Chad, bro. Like he knows this. But what I'm saying is, I think the problem that you have here is you're having trouble with the person of taking it down. If Malcolm X and freaking MLK resurrected right now, got up, like we're taking it down, you'd probably be like, let's see. But the problem, the fact that some 20-year-old in some vans taking it down, I think that makes it harder for you to even think about the other shoe. Can we have that part of it? And that's the thing. And I know you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think the problem that you're thinking here is, yo, some freaking college kid with some fans is taking this down, and he's born in '98. That's the problem. But then what I'm saying is, you got to go deeper than that, and even you know what I'm saying. So if MLK got, you see what I'm saying? So like, and then if you go even deeper, it would bring you back to, and you can sleep on it and think about it some more if you want to. But eventually, I know you, so I know eventually I can bring you. That I know that you know what's wrong and what's right. Like I know you know that. Like there's no way. Like you know what I'm saying? Or make it just be naive. But like I know there's no way. You don't think slavery should outweigh whatever you do. So you need to sleep on it. But anyways. Right. You're right. But also, you should be able to see. I think you have the capacity to see that. Why am I even clashing? I think you have the capacity to see why you're clashing.
And since you said something about country's history, I don't know that any country's history is perfectly pitch clean. either.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. I mean, we know.
I mean,
that,
these slaves came from somewhere. We know that these slaves were sold by their own people into the slave trade, taken from their own homes by their own people. The whites didn't go into those countries and steal these people. These people were brought to them and bought there by their own people.
But you
And
do
this
know
is
that
a historical thing.
Right, but you do know that there's some people that actually got there was wars they lost and they had to give up. You know, there's that too, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is not, but it's not just white people didn't just show up and take them.
And of course, not all.
Crazy.
They're just like, all right, yeah, I'm sold by my chief. I'm going. Like that's not how it went down. Nobody wants to be sold. Bottom line.
No, I'm not saying it was easy. These people were still. That's what I'm saying. They were taken from their homes, but by their own people. That's how much money. Hey, that's the
actually a very minority of them.
So,
but
it's crazy.
Yeah, good conversation, man.
And slavery. We also need to understand slavery didn't start in America. That's one of the biggest things people do not understand.
That's just media. Slavery was everywhere. Spanish, Arabs, it was everywhere. But
the Israelites were slaves to the Egyptians.
It's everywhere. Bottom line is it's everywhere. But yeah, I think everybody here has the capacity, man, to see obviously if Chad today was Chinese, he won't feel that way. Bottom line. If Chad
you can't say that because that's we can't say that because it goes.
Listen,
into cultural relevance.
If Chad was from Haiti,
you can't. Will you can't say it matters where you come from or the cultural relevance point I brought up earlier would then take effect and it would be true. It's either there is no difference or there is.
Listen, Garen, you're a smart dude. You know what you meant to say, and I know what you meant to say. So, but you also have to.
If it mattered, no. If it matters where you grew up, if that matters in understanding what is ethically correct and what's not ethically correct.
Yeah.
If it matters by where you grew up, then you could be an adulterer in America and be from France and it wouldn't matter.
But I'm saying 2020, bro.
You can't play both sides of the field. You're either for it or against it. It's true. That's just it. Yes, in all logic, the only way for the logic to follow, if you believe that where you're born is what forms your ideals.
It's not logic. It's not 1 + 1.
That's not. Listen. It is logic. Logic is what grows in your brain. That's what logic is. It's the capacity of how you think and how things go. It does not follow logic. If you are born somewhere and that's what forms your ideals, and that makes it inherently true ethically, then that's it. It goes across the board. You can't pick and choose when you want it to work. So if it follows for the Frenchman who lives in America that he can be an adulterer, then it follows for the American that thinks slavery is okay. I'm not saying it should. I don't believe it does. What I'm saying is no matter where you live, and this is what you were trying to say, no matter where you live, your ideals should be the same.
I get the theory.
It's not a theory. It's the truth.
In 2020, if you're in Mali and Mali thinks slavery is okay, somebody got to talk to you and let you know that it's not okay, even though you think it's okay. And you got to have open ears to listen. Bottom line. It's not logic like, yo, we sold slaves for 30 years, so I'm going to shut my mind. No, it's logic. No, open that head up. It's 2020. You know what I'm saying? That could have been the logic for 100 years. But in 2020, open your head. Dog, there's this.
I know. I think you're not. I don't think you're understanding that I'm arguing your point. You were saying that because he's born in America, his opinion it can't change. But then you just argued that it should change. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm with you. I'm arguing with you. Okay, but at the same time, you were saying that's what I'm saying is it doesn't follow. You were saying since he was born in America, his ideology is different, but it can't be that way. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't follow in congruation. If it can't be the same. It's not the way you grow up. It's what you believe in. Yeah, there is. It's either inherent that your ethics are inherent, or you get it from where you grow up. But it doesn't switch. You can't go in between the two. There's no mix.
Okay, all those points are valid.
Yeah, but I'm with you is what I'm saying.
Okay, so we're good.
Yeah, you're just taking it the wrong way.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, okay, so let's say Chad was born in Haiti, then he will be influenced otherwise, and it will be different, and so the logic is correct.
No, we're saying that no matter where he's born,
right. So let's say
if
whatever.
either you believe ethics, no matter where you're born, are the same, you either have the same morality no matter where you're born, or you believe that morality is regionally and culturally distinct. That it does depend on where you live and grow up. I believe it doesn't. I think no matter what, ethically, you understand what morality is no matter what, wherever you were born. But I'm also Christian, so I believe that everyone is born with this morality and understanding of morality because they're born into an image of Christ in perfection. Now, whether that's true in terms of where do they live it out, maybe not. And do they ever, maybe, but in some essence, I believe that they're born into morality and an understanding of knowing what's right and what's wrong, no matter where you're born.
Yeah, but okay, anyways, what I'm saying is if he was not white, then it wouldn't be like, yo, he did so much for my history, then he wouldn't feel that. He would actually be open and be like, okay, let me see the whole spectrum. Or do you disagree with that? If you're Haitian, if you're Haitian, you have the capacity to put yourself outside of yourself. If you're Haitian, do you think you would still be like, yo, that man did that for those white people's history? So it's just still you wouldn't feel that, right? You can take yourself out. Okay, you came from Japan. First of all, you came from Japan.
What about you just came from North Carolina?
Okay, you came from North Carolina. Wait, I don't get that joke, but okay. Okay, but my point is, if you're not Chad Milne,
You're Alex Hancock.
Jackson Ming.
No.
I know you have the capacity to be like, okay, if I was actually like somebody else, then because I feel like the history is like, I'll cut the blood off and the statue will fall off out of your blood. Like that's
what I'm saying. But that's where I was arguing with you, Will. I don't think that it matters where you're from. I think you should see the inherently immoral no matter where you're from. Whether you were born in America or whether you were born somewhere else.
Okay, point them out though. Well, what are they? No, point them out. Point them out. Are they raping and slavery? Point them out. Okay, that's the point. It's the level. Is it murder? Is it battery? What is it? I lied to you last Sunday? I mean, point it out. Chad, what's a no-no to you right now? What's a no-no? Just name a no-no. You can't laugh that off. Name a no-no right now. Somebody got to die for right now. No. I put it in your head because you still don't get it. Okay, so it's done. Get it. I'll wipe man. I'm like, right now. I can give me a truck. Give me a lifted truck right now. I am. I am. I am. Can't be on both on this one. It's black and white. This is one of those black and whites. Wait. You know what? It's black and white. Yeah, like this. Not everything. Not everything. And it's based off because you're a Milne. It's not anything else. Trust me, you know that. You know that. If you're Ted Kiola, You know that's not how you would feel.
But I don't know that's true because there's plenty of people that are from
black
other countries and that are African American or Hispanic or Asian that don't agree with the removal of statues. It's not just white people. It's not just Milneys. What? I can't hear you. What? Keep saying you're cutting out.
Is there a video of them?
Is there a video of? I mean, the Hodge twins are against it. What do you mean? If you want a prime example, go to Conservative Twins and go watch the videos.
Bro.
Huh?
Them boys grew up in West Virginia, big dog.
I'm telling you, there's people that don't. I'm just saying that everyone plays each side of the spectrum.
It does. That's what I'm saying. It does. And I told you that. I said if you're not Milne, then this won't be the case. It doesn't matter. You're Milne, that's why you feel the way you feel.
But I thought you agree it doesn't matter, Will.
Well, yeah.
True.
He would be. And he wouldn't have done that, and his statue wouldn't be up. Okay. Hey, maybe it would have been a better place. Who knows? Oh, it would have been worse. Who knows?
So you're still not. You're still playing both sides, Will, because you're saying it matters where you grow up, and then you're saying it's not. Because if you agree, then and you're saying if Robert Lee is born in 2020,
let me make it straight. It
you're
matters.
playing both sides.
Wait, it matters where you grew up. Did I just say that?
Okay, so then the guy in France can adulter anywhere, man. If it matters where you grow up.
Okay, but listen, it matters where you grew up. But if I go, what applies in outside here? Like, there's some things in jail they can do outside. It doesn't mean if I go to jail, then I'll do the same thing I was doing out here. You can't. That's not where. That's somewhere else.
I know. That's like saying. You have to pick one side or the other. There's you can't play both.
If I go up in France and they do adultery, if I come to the U.S., that's not France. I'm outside of my environment. If I practice what I practice, there's consequences that will happen, and I gotta accept that. If I'm gonna do it.
But you just said it matters where you grew up.
Huh?
But you just said you think it matters where they grow up. That the ethics don't change.
Well, they'll still do it, but they'll get killed for it. If stealing is okay in Haiti, if I come here and steal, yeah, it's okay because it's okay in Haiti. Would I survive here? I'll be dead. But I can still do it. But you gotta understand, you can die though.
But that's not. Well, it's not about dying or consequences. It's about do you understand? Or do these people understand? Do they have the capacity to understand that it's ethically wrong or correct? If they grow up thinking it's ethically correct, when they get here, does their morality change to think that it's now wrong, or does it still correct?
So to them, initially, it will still be correct. You live here long enough, and you're like, wait, they don't do it here? What?
So you don't think inherently you grew up understanding that stealing was wrong?
Okay, so let's say, for example, adultery.
Or that you didn't think that growing up inherently that slavery was wrong, that owning another person was inherently wrong? You don't think you like came out of the womb and your brain started to develop and you immediately knew, hey, you don't own people?
Argument is wrong. I think if we were born, I've watched like kids videos and literally they're just all over each other. They don't even know what's going on. So like I don't think they were like owning each other when they were. It's like nobody knew it. Let's not confuse this.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying when your brain is developing. So in the adolescence period, it goes from the age of 3 to 12. Inside of that's where you start to understand things.
Right.
Do you not think inside of that time period, you don't learn that? It's not a learned interaction. It's something you just understand.
Well,
I think it's instinct.
If you're in the jungle, then you don't know anything.
It's weird, bro. Philosophy's weird.
Yeah, philosophy. I just look at the basics.
But your basics that you're talking about is philosophy.
Because we have the capacity to do so. Chad, should we just talk about slushies, and we can't talk about steak, and we can't talk about fish. Like, we have the capacity to do that. We can talk about slushies, and we can still talk about fish. Like, it's not even just slushies, and that's what it is. Like, no. So, right, break them down, and you break them down, and you see what's right and what's wrong.
You understand that all sciences come from philosophy, biology, chemistry, mathematics, engineering, anything physical came from philosophy, which is crazy. It's all just schools of thought. It's not a fact, it's just opinion.
Right.
Even.
Can we all agree, though?
Isn't that crazy?
It depends on the place, like how you came up.
That's like saying, but see,
Yeah.
and here's your telltale solution to this. If that's the truth, so if we all come to consensus right now between us 5 that 4 is actually 11, then 4 could be 11, right? Like we just got there's no 4, it's 1, 2, 3, 11, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4. Like we've come to that consistency. That's what it is. But that's not true because mathematically, logically possible. 4 is 4. It doesn't change. There's no way you can mathematically, logically make that correct.
4 is 4 because somebody decided way back that 4 is 4.
Maybe.
If right now 2020, like, hey, scrap everything, 4 is 11, 4 is 11.
But that's just the name. The actual numerical figure is still 4. No matter what. Even if you change the name to 11, 4 is still 4. Because somebody said it, though. Can you understand that? It's not, though. Mathematically speaking, it's still 4.
Because somebody said it. Like,
no,
4 was said.
It's not just the name. It's just like quattro is still 4. 4 is just an English term for what 4 is. Does that make sense?
Wait, do you know the story?
So even if you change the name to 11, then 4 is still 4.
Okay,
no, it is.
Where's 4
That's
from?
what's weird.
Where's 4 from?
That's what I'm telling you. 4 is just the name for the actual numerical value. The value of 4 will never change, even if it's named 11.
Okay, well, where's that numerical value come from? Where did it come from?
Couldn't tell you. Just telling you.
So what I'm saying is,
it's logically impossible for 4 to be anything but 4.
Yes, because it's already set, and it's already deep now. Everybody already agreed. You can't change it now. But if we went back
it's deeper than that. Well, you're not understanding it's deeper than that. It's not just that they agreed. It's that that's what the actual value of it is, mathematically speaking.
Who told you that?
From logic.
Who told you that?
After I've learned it in philosophy in my logic class, because I had the same opinion as you. No, I genuinely had the same opinion as you. It's just named that way. Can't we just name anything? Can't we just name the gravity to be momentum, and now momentum is gravity? But it doesn't work that way because it's not the name that we're discussing that's changing. It's the actual value that goes behind it. So no matter what, 4 is still 4. Even if it's changed the name 11, the value of 4, even if its name is 11, is still 4. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Where did that value come from? I mean, the world started one day.
So, like, even if this is 4, but now we're going to call it 11, this is still 4. Like, this didn't change to... Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is the world started one day. Before there was nobody. And 4 had to be set. That's what I'm telling you.
And who said it? Who set it into motion? I want you to tell me who set 4 into motion. Unless 4 was just like, boom, the world came up, 4 came up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, 4 had to be set. That's what I'm saying. God made 4. So
hey, we can go with that. We can go with that.
This is something that I've always thought too. This is crazy. So this is something I've comprehended all the way to the age of 5. Now, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't saved till I was 18 and whatnot. Anyways, there's a lot more to that. But something I've always comprehended, even from a young age, I had this argument, and I remember it vividly in like 1st grade or kindergarten. I was trying to talk to these kids, and I was like, like God created houses. And they're like, no. Construction people, whoever like came up with the first idea, created houses. I'm like, no. Like, ideas don't just pop up. If God is reasoning because he's all-knowing, then he is what created the thought of houses. So he created houses, therefore. And there's no way you can defy that other than that.
Here's how I think about
If you believe in God, that's the only way ideology could work.
Here's how I think about it.
Crazy, bro.
So here's how I think about it. G5, I want G to follow me on this. I think God created man and gave man the capacity and the tools. He gave him the world. He was like, hey, here's the garden, here are the trees, and I'm giving you a brain. Now, your brain has the capacity of making whatever it is you want to make in this universe. And you have all the tools you need on this garden I dropped you in. And so he sees a tree. He was like, yo, this is sturdy because of the capacity he was given when he was created. So I need to sit down. I'm tired. This tree can make something I can sit on. It's pretty sturdy. Let me cut it. How do I cut it? He has the capacity. Once he was created, he was given that brain in the garden.
That's not necessarily true, though. That's not. Technically, we don't have that kind of. Technically, that knowledge spurs from when he ate the knowledge of good and evil. That's where that knowledge comes from.
Well, yeah, like wherever it came from.
They had no There's no such. They had no reason before eating. And see, and I can't say that either because they had to reason whether they should eat it or not. So there's too much into this where you have to go, and then you have my opinion where I just think it's all predestination anyways. So it's not worth talking
Let's just live, bro. Let's go to Schlitterbahn. You know what I'm talking about? We got one life. Dudes is trying to break down the apple and all that. Come on, man. Let's go to Schlitterbahn.
That's what I'm saying too.
You're gonna be 80 on the porch crying, bro, if you don't live right now. Forget the apple. You're gonna be
Before we sign off, though, I know Chad has no care or opinion to this, but I have two dudes in this call that I want to know. Okay, Dak didn't sign the deal. The deal was worth $31 million a year for 5 years. Should he have signed the deal, or is he asking for too much, or did he just hoe himself in the process by not signing the deal because he's not worth that? What do you think, Will?
I think you should sign and take that, dog. 31?
No, I agree.
Take that life. Ain't nobody got time to be playing push and pull and all that for $2 more million. Like, take 31.
So you,
go on.
So you think he's being greedy?
Well, like in his head, he thinks he should get more. But if I'm me, bro,
he wants 40. He wants $40 million a year. The Cowboys were willing to get him all the way to 35.6 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't want to say greedy because only he knows the sweat and blood he put into it.
That's fair. That's fair.
At 31, I mean, you know what I'm saying? What's 8 more? You know, at that point.
Now he's franchise tagged for 31 this year, and the following year they can franchise tag him for 38.
I'll take that.
And then after that, that's it. I mean, he has to sign a contract or he can leave. What do you think, Alex? Do you think he's worth it or what?
No, he's definitely not.
38.
So with Will, saying how much like effort, sweat, and blood he put in, like he has to produce the goods. It doesn't matter how much he works out. If you're not producing the goods, then you're not getting paid that much. Like he's trying to compare himself to Patrick Mahomes.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
That's fair. Because you know my boy Cam is putting in the work, but he has not produced since like 2014, like he was. But he's putting in the work.
Yeah, but think of it from the other side too. The man played for 300,000, 500,000, dog, for 4 years. He could have tore ACL. Look at the risk.
No, he made more than that.
Huh? I think he made
more than that the past 3 years.
He made like 2
He made 4, I think, his first year. Yeah, I think you're right. No, his starting base for 2019 was $2 million total for just this year, which is still low.
Yeah, Alex, look at it like this: you're the quarterback, you're grinding, and you're in year like that, year 1, year 2. At any point, you could be done with no money in your life. At any point, you take one bad shot, Your ACL is gone. You're not the same player. RG3 type.
Mm-hmm.
So
Think about
okay,
all that.
so wouldn't you think that rationality would make you want to sign the $36.5 million deal for 5 years and lock you in at $180 million? You know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
No, but what he's thinking though is in his head, and this is his head. I think what he's thinking is he's trying to get the most he can. Now, whether that's 31 and they don't budge, that's 31. But if they budge, hey, you gotta let him do what he gotta do. That's on him.
He gets paid, I think, 31.56 this year. So
yeah, I would take it for sure.
We'll see.
Yo, just one quick point though.
Yeah.
It just came to my head. If Chad thinks that, like, whatever we talked about, always in the back of my head, I'm like, what do his grandparents think?
They're treated pretty bad too, actually.
Wait, Kyle's doing what? Hey, like, dang, y'all got slaved for 400 years? Oh.
They're also thought of as less than inside of the UK too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah. Bro, low key, bro, like, I don't know, man. The more that I think about it, I'm like, I don't think I could ever get married to a white woman. You know what I'm saying? Just because she might not. She's in 2020, so she might be cool. But I'm like, I know you got an uncle out there. Like, I know.
You should, if you're marrying this person, you should know the ideals by then. Come on now,
bro. Come on, bro. Like, shit, boy, man. Listen, the coach of UT was like, yeah, we say Black Lives Matter, we say this, but are you okay if your daughter brought back a black man? The coach of UT said that, and I was like, I don't think I'm trying to go back and we got uncles trying to shoot people. Like, I don't try to do all that. I might get shot in my mouth.
Always a joke.
No, it started because the question about the church and like the Black Lives movement. That's what started it. Then
literally Chad came in this. He had one topic in mind. He started with all that fluff, but he already knew what he wanted to talk about. All right, I just want to say this. So if there's a statue, nah, man, we gotta look at the good. We gotta look at the good. Man, you, I'm not gonna let you live with this one. You're gonna hear about this one.
All I want to say is Tim Tebow is the greatest collegiate football player of all time. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Charles
I want to say, Chad, lose my number. Like, every time I try to call you, you don't answer. But the one time my brother calls you, you answer right away. Like, just lose my number.
Nah, Will, you're crazy if you think it was Woodson. He doesn't have the accolades Tebow did.
Bro, that man won a Heisman as a DB. That never happened. You can
I mean, Tebow had two
Tim Tebow's a
national
quarterback.
titles,
And freaking get the trophy.
2 national titles, 2 SEC titles, 2 Maxwell Awards, a Heisman Trophy, 2 times Heisman Trophy finalist, Davey O'Brien Award, and 2 times first team All American. No way, no shot that anyone will ever be as good as he was. No shot.
But think about the difficulty of being a DB and winning a freaking Heisman. That never happened.
Think about the difficulty of leading a team to back-to-back national championships. No shot. No shot.
Man.
Aaron McCarron, the quarterback from Alabama.
Oh, God.
They didn't win back-to-back. They won and then he lost one.
Here's the quarterback for y'all.
I think he won 3 times, actually.
I do not believe so.
I know it's 2 or 3. I can't remember.
Kelly's going to watch this and he'll be like, Chad, lose my number, dog. I can't believe this.